On today's episode of Dreaming Night Build podcast, I'm joined by Juliana Rose Bertrand, a purpose-driven entrepreneur, community builder, and fearless leader in the Sarasota Manatee area. A mother of four, real estate investor, and co-founder of a hybrid wellness and co-working concept, Juliana is redefining how business, wellness, and community truly work together. She is known for taking bold, calculated risks. She builds sustainable ventures that blend for-profit innovation with nonprofit impact, all while lifting others along the way. She's absolutely a natural connector who turns vision into action and ideas into real, lasting impact.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, listening to all that, it just, it gives me goosebumps because it's impacting for so many people.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it. So it's
Think
not,
about all that
you
you've
know,
done. That's so cool.
thank you, and continuing to do.
Yes.
It's not just what's great about having it done already, but continuing to grow further and further. So that's kind of what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, we could talk about the whole world and we could be here all day long.
How many hours
We've
do we
had
have?
so many conversations about just like changing and transitioning and making things happen and
And going through the ebbs and flows.
Yes.
And it's like, just because you think you're going down, it's not a down. It's how fast you get up, but how you get back up on certain things, because everything teaches you lessons in life and you have to wake up and acknowledge them and see what's good for you and aligns with you, because it may be at that moment and maybe it doesn't align with you anymore. And then you shift and you venture off, and that's the ups and flows and the energy and this energy of life. And you have to embrace it. If not, you're not going to go anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So you're doing some really big things right now. You are building incredible, not only relationships, but spaces for relationships to evolve and to blossom, and really creating something that doesn't exist. Like, we do not have what you are in the midst of developing in the Sarasota community right now. So the Powerhouse is what we're talking about. And let's talk more about that concept. How has that come to life for you?
Talking about it, look, I'm getting goosebumps because it's just, I'm a person of vision and aspiration and seeing what is needed, what is missing in the world. Because if I know it's missing, there has to be others also.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the creative side that's, bringing people together, but in an impactful and sentimental way. And yes, talking about the Powerhouse, this is something so completely different because it is community driven, emotion driven with impact, though, professional and community impact, which there's nothing out there like that. And doing this the right way, involving the community, the support, asking for help and saying, what is it? It built to becoming the Powerhouse. And with that, they have many other co-working spaces. And, you need to, I mean, this is not new around the block. What they say is that if it keeps going, don't break it, or if it's not broken, don't fix it. Or, the old is actually the good stuff. People forget it. They try to reinvent that wheel. There's no reason for it. You just adapt, evolve, make it better, make it community based on what the community needs. And so doing research, going out, trying to make impactful relationships, how we met each other from years ago and, knowing in our circle, but never really got to talk until a couple years later. And now look we're sitting here, we've run into each other and we have conversations from business to professional to kids to outfits or embracing one another for our differences, but our like-mindedness and accepting it, being okay and feeding off each other, but in a positive way. And not just for women, but this is for people all around.
Yeah.
So a la about the Powerhouse, it is more than just a co-working space. It is trying to make it visionary for the community, within the community and the needs. So community-based, but also having separate private offices, because who wouldn't want that? Having, health and wellness, which is a huge, important thing that so many people forget about. And what it is that we forget about ourselves. And it's not selfish. It's saying if we're not okay, we can't be okay for anybody else. You can't water your own grass and try to water others. You water others, your grass will die. You try to water yours a little bit by giving to everybody else, your grass is going to die, because if you're the one providing for everybody else, you need to focus, provide for yourself so you can keep giving and
Mhm.
and keep putting it out there, because that's the energy and the synergy they want. But if they keep, you keep watering and they keep taking, it only damages you and your light and what you have to bring value. And that is, and by grass, I mean energy, synergy, positivity, negativity. It's so many different things. And so this is different because it is more community based. So imagine having this in Lakewood Ranch area, not just Sarasota. It can be attained for every type of community style, because Lakewood Ranch is a little bit different than downtown Sarasota. It's different than Texas. It's different than anywhere else because it's community based.
Right.
And it allows people to want to be entrepreneurs or to learn, with educational programs, having events there as well. So, I mean, this, it is a huge space, and
Yeah.
I am taking on a massive thing. I've done a lot of things in my life, I would say, and real estate and flipping and restaurants and franchising and commercial. This is something that I'm electrified, which is weird because I didn't get electrocuted and I'm not terrified.
You're
So,
energized. You're just like
yes,
buzzing.
yes. But also it's just like, wow, it's a lot. It's a big thing it's doing. But you know what? Excuse my friend, book it. Why not? I have the skills, the tools,
Yeah.
the community, the impact, everything. This is what they want. So give it a try. And I wouldn't say failure, because everybody needs to go through things to learn mistakes or to evolve, to adapt, or what not to do next.
Yeah.
And this is for the community. So if this is, giving to the community, involving the community, it has to be reciprocated. That's how we grow together. And it's not competition, it's collaboration in ways, because we are our own person, our own individual. So we are in control of ourselves and our outcome. So it is not the fault of anybody else but our own, because we have to control ourselves. So with that being said, the community giving to that, it's a give and take in that kind of way, but it's uplifting.
So one of the things that I see that is so different, you call it a co-working space, you call it, don't reinvent the wheel,
Mhm.
but as we were talking about before, transitioning into what is already out there, yes, there's a lot of co-working spaces, but you are meeting the community where they're at. The community is desperate for places that can serve the single mom or for the working parent, for the individual that's overwhelmed, stressed, beyond belief, like have just like so many different things going on. That's what I love so much about this space, and that's what it provides, is that peace and that ability for that individual to come in and experience that.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of single parents. There are a lot of parents that are trying to figure out, navigate, like, where am I going to take my kids?
Yep.
Or if I want to take a step back and I want to sit in an infrared sauna, or I want,
Yes.
sit in the ice bath, or they
Yes.
just take a little bit of time for their self, where they can digress and they can breathe, they can work through their different scenarios. Like it's an all in one, which I think is just absolutely amazing. You don't have to go to all these different places and haul your kids around. That all is housed there.
Yes. And that's the beauty. And I'll say, and I'm proud. Well, I'm not proud. I'm honored to be a single mom, because that is a gift. Whether you have one, two kids, none kids, or lost them, it's an honor, because it takes two. And this is not only for single parents, this is for joint parents too. You know why? It's just as hard. It is just as hard when you have kids or you don't have kids, but having a relationship with somebody no matter what. So
Yeah.
this is, like I said, now I can go back into it, a one-stop shop talking about child community care. Watching your children, doesn't matter what age, what stage, but having, a space and room for them. But they get to be there. As a parent, you go through so much worry and you need to focus, but then, they're there, they're safe. You get to work, you're stressed, like you said, go into the sauna, steam room, go take a shower, go get an IV that week or whatever, just take the Pilates class. Then you walk down, you can have coffee. You can even bring your own lunch that day with a
Yeah.
kitchenette, or
Right.
you can order food.
Yep.
I mean, it's a plethora. Then we have rotating boutique for different vendors and communities, because sometimes business is slow and we want to rotate that. And you need to have a gift, party favor. You just go down and grab it. You would need merchandise. You need to go get some baked goods. Every vendor is different. So everyone has an opportunity to make money. So they're their own independent person. Now people could say, oh, let's not talk about the beauty part. So men, women, doesn't matter. Go get a haircut really
Yeah.
quickly. You need a blowout really quickly. You need a manicure, a pedicure. You want a facial. Why not? While you're in a working space, whether it's the community area, because we do have different zones, whether it's in the community area, that is semi-sectioned off, but that is community involvement, enjoyment.
Yeah.
And then you have a more sector that's private offices. If you want, boardrooms, there's content creation studio, there's podcast studio. And like you said, a one-stop shop. For me, the most time I waste is driving and going from place to place to place and this and that and the stress of it. And you're
Yes.
losing so much time. So why not build a one-stop shop that has everything in there? Then you don't have to drive to so many places.
Exactly.
And, it's a beautiful thing. And it is priced so well that you can't beat it. Imagine gym too. I mean, talking about all the amazing amenities that it has for one place. And maybe the concept's crazy and weird, but you know what? I'm gonna try it out.
And that's the one thing that we don't
Yeah.
get back, right? Time. It's
Yep.
our most precious commodity. I talk about that all the time. If I could do something that would ensure that I would have more time, whether it's spending time with my kids or even just self-care, sitting in that sauna or driving from place to place, it's such a big effort. And as you said, and then dealing with the drivers and finding parking. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can just go somewhere and you can do it all in
Yep.
one space, I mean, how much in the grand scheme of things, if you did that on a consistent basis, how much time would you save?
It's
No.
and it's time. You're right. Time's number one. But if you start calculating time, gas, this, that, how, oh, I have to go run out to get this and go, and then you're spending extra money on stuff, and then you have child like care. You add up all that stuff, and then you add up something that's in a one-stop shop. I mean, you're cutting the value by 75%. But also not just time, it's your mind
Yeah.
not going crazy and having to plan and coordinate and this, and it's extra. That's a mental state of mind.
Mind.
You're gaining mental stability
Right.
if you look at it the right way.
Right.
And that is huge. That and time go hand in hand.
And the
So,
energy of the place is really, really great.
yeah.
It's just a very wholesome, light, bright feeling. And of course, I know because we just hosted the vision board workshop there. I
Yeah.
love how open it is and
I know.
so welcoming. Like it just is, it's like that sensation where you just go in and you like sigh of relief, like I'm here, I'm in a really great space that's going to allow me to just be present. And I think that that's, what so many of us are looking for is those places. Where are those places and those spaces where we can go and just release that?
You yourself, you hosted and you've been there many times with different events as well. You hosted another event there but with that being said, is that even under construction, you hosted it. You wanted to be there and feel, and you felt that energy and that synergy and everything. Like that to me is music to my ears that I'm continuing and going in the right direction. And
Yeah.
I know this is still a great thing because, I'm not gonna lie, at the end of the day, we all can get discouraged.
Yes.
We all can go through things and it's like at the end, what are we doing? Are we really doing this? Is this our purpose? Is this our drive? We do hesitate, second guess ourselves sometimes, but we have to listen to our gut. And that is enough people don't want to give praise. They don't want to give solace. And that hurts. And you doing that, having your events there too. And it makes it so beautiful because it says, yes, the community wants this. And they're saying yes.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful. And I really am excited. And people are saying, well, if it was in Lakewood Ranch or if it was in Bradenton, it would be better. If I could put one there everywhere so fast, I would. But it is what it is. But like I said, one-stop shop
Yeah. Yep.
with parking. And people are like, oh, well, parking. You're right. We are dealing with some parking stuff and adding more parking. But if you were to go to a seminar or downtown, anywhere, and other co-working spaces, they actually don't have parking at all.
Yeah.
But we're working with the city and they think the concept is amazing. I mean, they're backing us with their honored support on saying, what is it that you need? And we'll try to accommodate. And that was one of it was parking.
Yeah.
So getting allowed valet parking and having that as an added for our members.
Yeah.
That is huge. So you just pull up, get your car key, you're a member, they go park your car, they come back and can get it for you if there is no parking there. And we're working with other neighbors as well to come together to, they're not using parking to, hey, let's join in, and that's the beauty of it. And so it's like we're trying to help, see the needs and accommodate as best as we can, but you can't always accommodate everybody. So
Right.
Yes.
Well, I can't think of someone better to have on the show than to talk about bringing their vision to life. You had this concept, you had this idea in your mind, and I know that you were talking about like you put it down on paper, you're thinking about it. And for so many people out there, they also are thinking about things. They have big dreams, they have big ambitions, and they know that they want to do it and they know that it's like where they're supposed to be or what their life is supposed to evolve into. Talk about that process because I think that there's a lot of people that need to hear that. They need to know that, of course, it's not going to be turnkey and easy. It's not just like a process that, like, where everything just simultaneously comes together. I would love to hear about the mental state that you go through and just talk a little bit about like the back end of things because I think that vulnerability and that ability for us to be able to speak to those challenges and how you started with this idea and it's come to fruition. You're having events there, you're doing things. It's going to be ready by June, correct? To
Yes.
open the doors.
Yeah.
And so it has evolved into a space. You've got the place, you're figuring out all of the logistics, a lot of different moving parts, but you did it. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about how that concept became realized because again, there's so many people out there that are just thinking about things, they're not necessarily implementing. Maybe talk about some of those first steps and then the evolution
Okay.
to where you are now.
I will tell you right now, that is the best darn question I've been asked in a very long time. I swear to you, and wow, again, goosebumps. See, I'm a very energy person, and I'll tell you that question needs to be asked more often. So praise to you. What I'm realizing now is that trust your gut.
Mm.
Your gut never fails. If your gut feels off and weird, it's because, and we ignore all these things, or we say, well, yes, we're going to do this, or we can't. Why can't you? So it'd be gut and it's mindset. If you say you can't, you can't.
Mm.
But if you say, I will, I don't know how, you will. Just like we talked about a little bit earlier, is that I'm doing something on a way bigger scale, way bigger, but I've done it on littler scales. So why not? Just bigger.
Exactly.
Holy crap, it's bigger for like a one big project, but why not? If I can believe in myself and it's believing in yourself that you know you can and taking those steps. And guess what? You have to fail. You have to make mistakes. You have to. If nothing is peachy, nothing is gravy. Those are lessons being taught to you, being brought to you to learn. And guess what? The same mistake will keep happening over and over again, either harder and stronger or lighter and lighter. It's because the universe is telling you, oh, you didn't learn your lesson? Here you go. Here's another one. Here's another one. And it's not the same exact thing, but it's very similar concept if you start thinking about it. Or, okay, you're learning your lesson. I'm still teach you a lesson, but I'm going to
Mhm.
be easier on you because you're finally getting it. So it's about making the mistakes, getting involved, but the beauty is you have to trust the right people. Oh, now
Yes.
that's a huge one. That could be another thing for another can of worms.
Yeah.
But really, it goes back to your gut, your mindset, and your instincts.
Yeah.
And all it is if you say you can't, you can't. My son is 7 years old. And last year he's like, Mom, I'm dumb. I can't read. I can't read. And, I have 3 older ones, so they're all reading and et cetera. And, poor little one. And I was like, what? What did you say? I can't read. I'm dumb. And I said, who told you that? I did. And I'm a parent who is like, I can't or no,
No,
or
sir.
yeah, like no is not in my vocabulary. It's, oh, I'm going to. Maybe not right this second, not now. And that broke my heart because even a little child who comes from someone, and I am very ambitious, and I have stories upon stories of how broken down, how I lost everything many of times and built it right back up again. But to hear that from a little child, knowing that there's so many people out there like that saying that I can't, I can't, I can't, and changing his mindset. And what it was is taking the extra little time that I don't have, sitting with him and pushing him, but
Yeah.
not doing it for him,
Yes.
not reading.
That's the key.
Mom, what is that word? Sound it out. I can't. Yes, you can. You're going to sit here and I'll sit here with you. Sound it out. I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
I will provide access, but you need to do it.
Yes.
And that is the thing is that people is they think some things are given to them. Great. It's what they do with it. Some people are different, blessed than others. That doesn't make you better or worse than anybody else, because someone can get, let's just say, $1 million for easy money. If they don't know what to do with it tomorrow, they'll be broke.
Right.
But someone who takes the $1 million and see what they do with it. So it doesn't matter where or what you come from.
It truly is amazing how powerful our belief system is. And that coincided with your gut, as you said, and just like the energy that we feel between people. Like as I've gotten older, and I feel like I've always kind of done this, I've been a little bit more careful as a child, and I don't just like jump into something and kind of like feel things out. But even more so, just even in the last few years, growing into this woman that I want to become, and just making sure that that strategic alignment is there. Because if you're not making the right decisions with the right people, you're going a million miles in the wrong direction. So that's why it's essential immediately to, feel that,
Acknowledge
to
it.
experience it,
Yeah, and it's
and to
okay.
know,
It's okay to
like,
embody it too. It's
yeah,
okay to
yeah,
say, what is this feeling? What am I going through? And step back,
yeah,
because not I'm a very I want stuff done yesterday. Like, let's go out
yeah,
and do 50 billion things at once. And that's my brain. But sometimes I really do have to step back. And that's where my most creative part comes from,
yeah,
is sitting with myself, canceling out the noise,
yeah,
and saying, what is my body? What is it telling me? Because we don't take time for silence.
yeah,
Silence scares me.
yeah,
When I'm talking and someone's silent, did I say something wrong? What happened? It's like, no, people just take pauses. You don't. You know what I mean? But back to that, it really is. And, I don't believe people are bad. I don't believe there's one bad person. They just make bad choices.
yeah,
And that's what it
yeah,
comes down to, is not everyone's for you, the ebbs and flows. It's just how you handle the situation, person. And then again, you can only control yourself. You cannot control anybody else or anything around you.
that's right. And
And
that's
then,
so
yeah,
freeing too.
it
When
is.
when you really understand that concept,
Yeah.
that I can only control what I do
Mhm.
and the choices that I make.
Can
And
you
then
control your kids
and then
sometimes?
no.
Exactly. They're your kids,
You do the best that you can,
but they're not you.
but exactly.
Yeah.
And they will never be us. And that release to just be the best example that we can be every single day,
Mhm.
show up the best of your ability in any given situation,
And
is
everybody,
what shows that
y-
example. And then they
yes.
can decide
And they can
if
decide,
they
because
want.
I will tell you, there's 3 sides to every story. There's your side. We're talking right now. We can end this, walk away, and say, "Oh my gosh, the podcast was great." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was okay." But why? It's your emotion and your side, my emotion, my side, and then facts. They and people can say so many things, good or bad or whatever, but that's all the noise around. And people get burned a lot too, so they're very skeptical. It's like certain products or people or coaches or mentors or conductors or connectors all around.
Mhm.
And then you feel like, "Oh, I had a bad experience with this person or this, professional person." But not all people are like that. You have to go back to your gut,
Yeah.
your intuition.
Yes.
You know what? And ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Don't be
You don't know
afraid.
what you don't know, so you can't assume anything.
Exactly. And just because you said that one person had a bad experience with that, that's not you. And if you're going to go off of, that was a bad experience, I'm not going to use that person. If that's how you feel because that's how the situation happened, that's fine. But if you want to know further, don't assume what happened because you're hearing what somebody else said.
Right.
If you want answers, go and ask them yourself,
That's right.
because if it's out there. And that's and that's what creates all this chaos,
Right.
is that people go off of what other people are saying and not fact checking the stuff too.
Exactly.
And that creates a lot. And that creates a lot of downfall. That creates a lot of doubt. That creates so much, because people just can't be honest with themselves.
Right.
And it's okay to come from different levels. Like I said, no one's better than anybody. When my parents, they opened up actually the first McDonald's in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The first one, they were going to franchise it
Very
out.
cool.
And it's still there, actually. And then they didn't end up doing that. We moved back to the States. They ended up opening up 23 CC's Pizzas in South Florida.
No way.
Yes. I mean, it's like other things. So talk about involving in a lot of things. And I love it because it's different every day, because I have to keep my brain very active. I get bored too easily. So, having that, people will tell you, "Oh, you can't do that," or "You can't do this." Well, they did it. And guess what? they lost everything.
Mm.
They lost everything and they built it right back up again. So it's not bad. It's okay, but they took a chance. They took a
And that's
chance
how
and they
it
did
is
it.
for most successful people.
Mhm.
You know, we build things up, and there's certain things that happen that are unexpected a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and
That are beyond your
things fall down.
control.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Because that person didn't get up that high to just crash.
exactly.
Something must have happened. And that's what I'm saying with facts or this or that. And the thing is just be authentically you no matter what. And people don't like you or they like you or it's not your circle. It's not your tribe. It's
Exactly.
not your group.
It's
It's not your
okay.
community. That's not a problem. But there's no reason to go that because we're all humans. We're all adults. I make mistakes every single day, but I own up to them. And that's the beauty of it is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to say, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But not I'm sorry. It's I made a mistake. It's on me. And I hope that you can see that I'm coming to you genuinely. Da 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 da. And that solves a lot. But business wise too is just because you're down, people shouldn't kick you when you're down because that's you're wrong.
That's right.
But also when you're down, don't stay down too long. Figure out how you're going to get back up, but go because when you get back up, you better come up stronger and better and faster and quicker. So take that time while you're down to assess because do not stay down there because you'll be stuck, you'll be done. And that happens with friendships, relationships, addictions. I mean anything and everything. But and that's the thing that I want to like tap into at some point is that the people when they do feel that way is how can we help them genuinely where they're not feeling like they're hopeless or nothing
Yeah.
to get them back up faster, but not in a pushing way, in a literally like, tell me because I am here for you. We are
Yeah.
here for you. This is why the community builds up and it's genuine. And then guess what? You never know how you made that person feel
Right.
because it's not for you're doing it for a reason, but you will be blessed and paid back tenfold when you
Absolutely.
do things and work in so many different ways. You will be blessed. I've seen it happen so many times in my life. Like, just do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's it. Opening up a door. You know, I roll down a window sometimes and say, "Oh my gosh, you're beautiful!" Like like,
Yeah.
and you're walking down like, "Whoa!" You hear that? It's just like catches them off guard. Like, or I talk to somebody, I'm like, "Wow, you're handsome." Like, don't take it like that, but or
Yeah.
and
Just giving someone a compliment.
opening the door for somebody,
Yeah.
telling my son, he opens my car door for me because he's around all women.
Yeah.
I need to teach him how to be a gentleman, a man, some type of way, and it just goes back to genuine and being who you are and
Yeah.
embracing who you are too.
Yeah, and I think it all comes down to as well, and this is actually on my vision board, is that we did not come this far to just come this far. So for anybody that's listening and they've been in the trenches, maybe they're even in the trenches right now and you're going through like so
Yeah.
much, just recognize that you came as far as you did for a reason. And you might be in the midst of something tough, but there's always a light on the end of the tunnel.
Yes, and I'm telling you, it's you had to go through that for whatever purpose, and you may not know now. Maybe you'll never know. Maybe you'll realize, but it got to a point, and you have to let it go if it's not good. Because if you don't let it go, you're going to be stuck, and you won't be able to get to the next level. You
Right.
won't be able to, as bad as you don't want to let it go or release or whatever it is. You need to, or else you're going to keep in that stuckness. Because once you release and let go, and you know that, and you just don't want to keep stopping releasing that, you can't reach bigger heights because this universe and everybody that knows that you're gonna keep getting higher and higher and higher. And then you'll start releasing all the little bit. It'll become easier.
Exactly.
Why are we making things so much harder for ourselves? Holy crap. I'm telling you, like that's what it is too. Yes. Yeah.
I just love all of this. This was so great. And I
Yes.
love how we were able to cover so many different things. I know you and I are both very heartfelt people, and we
Yeah.
truly, truly want the best for the world.
Is it really hard to
Yeah.
believe? Like, why? Because people, sorry to interrupt you, but people look and say, oh, well, make assumptions, put it that way. I'll say it in the most graceful way possible. Make assumptions of who we are, what we go through, what we don't go through, and make all visions of created images of what they see, perceive, whatever. But you know what the reality is? The genuine people will really know who you are. And if they're not with you because they know genuinely, then they're not for you. And that's
Exactly. That's right.
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
It's
beautiful
not
thing.
everybody is
You
gonna
can
be
say
for you.
no.
And
You can
it's
say no,
yep.
and you don't have to feel bad about it. You just don't be horrible about it. Just don't
Yep.
be a rude person. Just say, "I'm sorry, it's not for me," or "You're not," or "This wasn't," whatever it is in any situation. Like I said, friendship, business, whatever it is, it's okay
Yeah.
to not continue something that you don't want to
Absolutely.
in any
So
aspect. Yeah. So,
I love this conversation today. This was
yes.
so wonderful.
Yep.
Like I said before, I could literally talk to you for 8 hours straight or longer. Like we could just keep going with all of this.
Yes.
I want to know what's the best way for everyone to get in touch with you? What is the best way for them to reach out, whether it's about the Powerhouse or just to learn more about what you're doing in the community?
Oh, man. I will tell you, I'm a people person. I'm an in-person person, which is very hard these days because I am also very, very busy. So I do
Just
have a website for the Powerhouse.
okay.
If that's specifically for the Powerhouse, that's great. I do have my personal email, which is, on real estate. So, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's my last name dot my first name at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So that's a better way. And I do have a calendar on that they can book on my Google Calendar for that. And I'm just more of a very in-person person.
Yeah.
They have to make sense. But I love to help people I will take time to stop my crazy day because someone says, I need you. I may not know who you are. And I always say yes. If you're BS, then I'll be like, I gotta go. Sorry, see you later.
Yeah.
But if I can sense it and hear it, I'll stop whatever it is. I'll stop whatever it is for anybody, but it just has to make sense too. You know what I mean? Or else we can waste our time. Maybe we can waste this. But yes, I think social media is a tool. I think it's great with all this. But if you use it the right way, you're heading great platforms. And that's also why I said, I don't know yet, is because I'm also trying to create. I'm not an app or a coder. I just have the vision. That's it. No back end stuff. So they get all the credit.
Yeah. You can outsource for that.
But it's also creating a genuine platform.
Yeah.
So there's so many apps out there, and I'm not tech savvy. This is too confusing for me. And it's so noisy and time consuming.
Yeah.
So creating something that you go to one place where it's genuine, it's real, but there's different type of things. One stop shop. Oh, there we go again.
Yeah.
So yes,
You
so
got
that's
it.
going to be creating something like that as well. So
Well,
yeah.
we'll be able to put all of that information underneath the video. For those of you that are tuning in today,
Yes.
definitely follow along with Juliana's journey. And we are so excited for this year, 2026, best year yet for all of us. And as we wrap up today's episode of Dreaming Night Build, I hope Juliana's story reminded you that building something meaningful requires courage. It takes vision and a willingness to take the harder road. Her journey is proof that when you ignite your purpose, stay rooted in your values, and consistently build with intention, real impact follows not just for you, but for the people around you. So if this conversation resonated today, please share it with someone who's ready to step into their next level. And until next time, keep dreaming boldly, igniting your purpose, and building a life that truly matters.
Oh, I love it. Let's go. Woo! Oh my gosh.